January 1st, 2015. Jeb Bush severs ties to most firms with eye on 2016. Bush won't attend Steve King summit. Leila Alcorn, transgender teen's reported suicide note makes dramatic appeal. The origins of the alleged dead cops chant. GOP legislators thwart bids to expand Medicaid. Supreme Court in big leap plans to put filings online. January 2nd, 2015. Mario Cuomo, New York governor and liberal beacon, dies at 82. Former New York Governor Mario Cuomo dead at 82. Jeb Bush donates $10,000 to fund for families of slain NYPD officers. Prince Andrew named in U.S. lawsuit over underage sex allegations. Cops say Massachusetts man killed wife in argument over Christmas gift. California's chicken cage size law expected to increase egg prices. Taco Bell is giving away free Doritos Locos Tacos for a month starting tomorrow. January 3rd, 2015. President Obama sanctions North Korea after Sony cyber attack. More sanctions on North Korea after Sony case. GOP focus for Congress: cut deficit and don't stumble. Republicans and state governments plan juggernaut of conservative legislation. Pence visits Israel as potential 2016 candidates polish foreign affairs resumes. Bratton warns NYPD not to turn backs on mayor at cop's funeral. Mario Cuomo, a thinker in public. Affordable Care Act creates a trickier tax season. January 4th, 2015. Prince Andrew and Alan Dershowitz are named in suit alleging sex with minor. Protesters slam Oprah over comments that they lack leadership. Sex reassignment surgery at 74. Medicare win opens door for transgender seniors. Is Perry eyeing White House? Huckabee to end Fox News show to mull 2016. How Sharpton gets paid to not cry racism at corporations. The Senate's 46 Democrats got 20 million more votes than its 54 Republicans. Democrats' narrow path back to controlling the Senate. David Cameron on fixing the U-bend, making Boris wait, asking Sam before saving hostages, and why this is the biggest election for a generation. January 5th, 2015. The Boehner for Speaker whip count. Boehner ally says GOP challenges to Speaker unprofessional. David Bratt says next House Speaker must tackle trillion-dollar problems. Chris Christie on WFAN. I'll trade the abuse for Cowboys playoff wins. Is life better in America's red states? Top Iowa Democrats slow to rally around Hillary Clinton. January 6, 2015. Jeb Bush filing paperwork Tuesday for new PAC in big step toward 2016 bid. Boehner facing dissent and defections in vote to remain Speaker of House. Jeb Bush in 94. Sodomy shouldn't be given some protections as race and religion. Jeb Bush fundraising apparatus ready for takeoff. Christie faces scrutiny over gifts from Cowboys owner. GOP needs to pump new blood. 2 cops shot by armed robber sparking massive manhunt. Mysterious beasts spotted by Arizona highway cameras. This post shamelessly uses Frederick County, Maryland council member Kirby DeLauder's name without authorization. The secrets of the toxic disco clam. January 7th, 2015. Gunmen kill at least 12 in terrorist attack at French satirical newspaper. At least 11 killed in shooting at office of French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. Charlie Hebdo, gun attack on French magazine kills 11. Charlie Hebdo shooting, 11 dead at Paris office of satirical magazine. At least 11 dead in Paris shooting, say police. Shooting at Paris office of Charlie Hebdo magazine kills 12. Boehner defectors booted from panel. Boehner takes revenge. House rule sets up election year battle over Social Security. Ben Carson's history book plagiarizes socialismsucks.net and many other sources. January 8, 2015. 2 brothers suspected in killings were known to French intelligence services. Police hunt 3 Frenchmen after 12 killed in Paris attack. Paris attack suspect dead, 2 in custody, U.S. officials say. Female police officer killed in second Paris shooting was 27-year-old rookie who dreamed of serving her country. Paris terrorist attack draws questions about Obama policies. Europe is under siege. Don't let murderers pretend their crimes are about cartoons. Internal CNN memo says we are not at this time showing the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. Christie's re-election campaign gets subpoena. January 9th, 2015. Paris terror attack. 2 hostage situations in France linked, Paris prosecutor says. French police close in on Paris attack suspects. Charlie Hebdo attack. Suspected extremist gunmen surrounded? Gunman killed. 4 hostages feared dead at Paris market. Pen versus sword. Cartoonists unite against Islamic terror. Charlie Hebdo attack. Gilens Poston will not print Prophet Muhammad cartoons. Bush team sets bold fundraising goal. $100 million in 3 months. House votes down Obamacare's 30-hour work week, 252 to 172. U.S. economy added 252,000 jobs in December, unemployment rate at 5.6%. Nebraska court clears obstacle for Keystone Pipeline. January 10th, 2015. Paris terror attack. 4 hostages killed before police staged final assault. Amnesty. Nigeria massacre deadliest in history of Boko Haram. Britain's MI5 chief warns al-Qaeda in Syria planning mass attacks on West. Prosecutors said to recommend charges against former General David Petraeus. Romney to GOP donors, I want to be president. Mitt Romney says he's considering a 2016 run. Romney tells donors he is considering 2016 White House bid. Steyer edges closer to Senate run. George Zimmerman arrested on domestic violence with a weapon charge. January 11th, 2015. French premier declares war on radical Islam as Paris girds for rally. Paris terrorist attacks raise stakes for looming immigration fight. White House plans conference on countering violent extremism. A signal of distaste for dynasties bodes ill for Bush and Clinton. Eyeing 2016, Jeb Bush applies old lessons from Florida run. Free speech comes with responsibilities. 2 anti-torture protesters arrested at Dick Cheney's house. NYPD cops told no vacations until work slowdown ends. Berlin bunker where Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun committed suicide at end of World War II to be rebuilt. Running or not, Harry Reid ramps up fundraising. January 12th, 2015. Huge show of solidarity in Paris against terrorism. Criticism mounts over thin U.S. presence at Paris rally. Kerry reschedules France visit. America snubs historic Paris rally. Holder was there but skipped out early. Kerry was in India. Obama and Biden just stayed home. U.S. officials nowhere to be seen at Paris Unity Rally. Barack Obama's French kiss-off. The conspicuous U.S. absence from Paris Solidarity March. Democrats in a stark shift in messaging to make big tax break pitch for middle class. Health reform a plus for Dems at last. Saudi prince says $100 barrel oil never again. Nigeria's horror in Paris's shadow. January 13th, 2015. Charlie Hebdo's new issue has Muhammad on the cover. France finds potential terror accomplice in handcuffs in Bulgaria. White House says it's fair to say we were wrong on Paris Unity Rally. Romney moves to reassemble campaign team for almost certain 2016 bid. The selling of Mitt 3.0. Paul Ryan won't run for president in 2016. Elizabeth Warren and progressives sink Obama Treasury nominee Antonia Weiss. Moroccan-born mayor of Rotterdam tells fellow Muslims who do not appreciate the freedoms of living in the West to pack your bags and F off on live TV. Obama's college plan bows to elites. The genius of Obama's two-year college proposal. January 14th, 2015. Al-Qaeda in Yemen claims responsibility for Charlie Hebdo attack. France arrests 54 for defending terror, newspaper sells out. Charlie Hebdo print run raised to 5 million as copies in France sell out. Millions of copies of Charlie Hebdo sell out within minutes. Ohio bartender charged with threatening to murder John Boehner. Rand Paul announces campaign manager for likely 2016 campaign. Romney recycled. Mitt would have to explain why he'd be a better candidate now. Obama's approval rating ticks up in 2015. Senate to vote on whether climate change is happening. Apple and Google reach new deal to end U.S. lawsuit over poaching. January 15th, 2015. Pope on Charlie Hebdo. There are limits to free expression. Terrorism doesn't justify insulting Islam. GOP frets over immigration 2016 backlash. Justin Bieber accidentally joins meeting of gay Republicans and they just think he's just a butcher version of Miley Cyrus. Mitt Romney backlash intensifies. U.S. easing decades-old restrictions on travel to Cuba. Indianapolis Colts linebacker accused in rape case due in court Tuesday. Not everyone's internal clock is set for the 9 to 5. Shunning Obamacare. January 16th, 2015. That time John Kerry got James Taylor to sing You've Got a Friend to France. European counterterrorism officials scramble to identify potential threats. Belgium Verveer's plot aimed to kill police. How the FBI foiled a 2012 plot to bomb the U.S. Capitol. Obama and Senator Robert Menendez spar on how to handle Iran. GOP tactics on Obamacare move away from full repeal. Obama to Senate Dems. I'm going to play offense. Key Obamacare officials stepping down. At the Oscars nominations, it's a good year to be an idiosyncratic man. Don't do it, Mr. Romney. January 17th, 2015. Supreme Court agrees to rule on gay marriage. Supreme Court will hear 4 cases challenging same-sex marriage bans. Supreme Court will take up gay marriage. The Supreme Court and gay marriage. French Prime Minister says, I refuse to use this term Islamophobia. McConnell to House GOP. Don't expect miracle on immigration. Analysis says CBO contradicted the latest case against Obamacare 68 different times. Holder limits seized asset sharing process that split billions with local and state police. 2015. It's time to fire the IRS. RNC's Priebus looks at 2016 as do or die. January 18th, 2015. Obama will seek to raise taxes on wealthy to finance cuts for middle class. Obama to propose tax hikes on wealthy and breaks for middle class. Obama to propose capital gains tax hikes to benefit middle class. GOP pounces on Obama's tax plan. Romney, moving towards 2016 run, outlines vision to eradicate poverty. Mitt Romney jokes about 2016 speculation at RNC meeting. Mitt Romney's 2016 pitch, "I'm a foreign policy prophet." More than half of U.S. public school students live in poverty, report finds. Officers respond to shooting at a Florida mall, injuries reported. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo planning trade mission to Cuba. January 19th, 2015. Obama will focus on wealth inequality, not just income. France was attacked by Islamic fundamentalism. Islamic State threatens 2 Japanese captives in video. ISIS executes 13 teens for watching soccer. German embed reporter says ISIS plans on killing hundreds of millions in religious cleansing. New York City may yank terrorism report to appease mosque spying critics. U.S.-built Ebola treatment centers in Liberia are nearly empty as outbreak fades. GCHQ captured emails of journalists from top international media. 9-month-old dies after being shot in the head by 5-year-old brother in northwest Missouri. Pope says Catholics need not breed like rabbits. January 20th, 2015. In State of the Union address, Obama is to move past hardship and reset goals. Obama uses his tax proposal to taunt the GOP. Obama tries to steal GOP thunder. Just another Obama speech. Pope's climate change stand deepens conservatives' distrust. Poll says no bump for Romney and Bush after 16 hints. Up to 50,000 gallons of oil spilled in Yellowstone River. Residents told not to drink water. January 21st, 2015. At the State of the Union, a president outgunned in Congress is still combative. Obama challenges Republicans in State of the Union speech. The most important sentence in Obama's 2015 State of the Union. A fantasy for tweens. Obama's State of the Union address. Shiite insurgents control Yemen's presidential palace and residence. Yemen's president has no control as Houthi rebels storm palace. Rep. Steve King decries deportable in Michelle Obama's balcony. 1,700 private jets fly to Davos to discuss global warming. Poll finds agenda gap between leaders and American people. January 22nd, 2015. Sheldon Silver, New York Assembly Speaker, is accused of taking millions in graft. Boehner snubs White House, invites Netanyahu to address Congress. Pelosi warns Netanyahu, speech to Congress will hurt Iran talks. Israeli Mossad goes rogue, warns U.S. on Iran sanctions. Town votes to demolish Sandy Hook killer's Connecticut home. Abortion bill dropped amid concerns of female GOP lawmakers. Hillary does her best Putin imitation. Here's the Willie Horton ad Romney almost ran against Mike Huckabee. U.S. Senate votes that climate change is real, but Republicans stop short of attributing that to human activity. Civil war brewing for the cultural left. January 23, 2015. After arrest, New York Speaker Sheldon Silver should step down. Sheldon Silver to resign as Assembly Speaker. Obama to pass on meeting Netanyahu during Washington visit. U.S. pulls more staff from Yemen embassy amid deepening crisis. Wisconsin governor touts drug testing for aid recipients. China harassing and imprisoning Chinese working for foreign news outlets. Barrett Brown sentenced to 63 months for merely linking to hacked material. Will Democrats spoil Obama's trade initiatives? Rape controversies return to haunt GOP. A republic of disrespect. January 24th, 2015. Sarah Palin on 2016. Of course she's interested. Jeb Bush previews 2016 run, promising adult conversations on big issues. Federal judge strikes down gay marriage ban in Alabama. Supreme Court will review use of lethal injection. For Auschwitz Museum and survivors, a moment of passage. Rapper Tiny Do facing long prison sentence over lyrics. Why Republicans can't stop talking about rape. GOP may abolish Supreme Court filibusters. January 25th, 2015. Palin says she's seriously interested in 2016 campaign. Sarah Palin seriously interested in 2016 bid. For Republicans at campaign kickoff, sideshows precede big show. Ben Carson pulls crowd to its feet. De Blasio, Obama, and a flawed vision of liberalism. 4chan founder Moot bids farewell. This is it for me. This is goodbye. January 26, 2015. Middle class shrinks further as more fall out instead of climbing up. White House Chief of Staff says no let-up in focus on middle class. Small drone crashes at White House complex, origin unclear. Rand Paul on possible Mitt Romney run. No. Chris Christie joins crowded GOP fight for donors. Obama gets a warm welcome, but Indians pine for Bush. End Obamacare and people could die. That's okay. Endlessly slapped by Obamacare. White House says release of hostage names not constructive. January 27th, 2015. Poll says for 2016, many Republicans but just one Democrat. Pelosi says, I hope Romney is the GOP nominee. CIA officer is found guilty in leak tied to Times reporter. Saudi Arabia's new king refused to intervene in a controversial beheading. Obama defends U.S. ties as he pays respects in Saudi Arabia. Democratic congressman says a lot of strong GOP support for Israel has to do with fundraising. Obamacare program costs $50,000 in taxpayer money for every American who gets health insurance, says bombshell budget report. Russians charged with plotting to recruit NYC co-eds as spies. Obama films anti-oil drilling video from a jet. U.S. spies on millions of cars. January 28, 2015. Jordan agrees to release terrorist in exchange for pilot held by ISIS. Michelle Obama navigates limits on women in Saudi Arabia. Michelle Obama's uncovered head draws Saudi Twitter critique. Anti-tank missile fired at Israeli military vehicle on Lebanon frontier, says Army. Hillary Clinton willing to testify again on Benghazi. Obama drops proposal to cut tax benefits of 529 college savings plans. Jindal warns of Sharia colonization, invasion of America that would lead to lone wolf attacks. Republican leaders look for escape plan on immigration. Would a U.S. strike against Iran actually work? Indiana governor to expand Medicaid coverage. January 29, 2015. Administration official criticizes Israeli ambassador over Netanyahu visit. Pelosi warns Netanyahu, speech to Congress will hurt Iran talks. Raul Castro says U.S. must return Guantanamo for normal relations. Sarah Palin and her one-time fans on the right. It's so over. Obama rallying Democrats to fight for spending boost in budget. A better way for the Kochs to spend their millions. Loretta Lynch says she doesn't support marijuana legalization or Obama's views on pot. Big GOP field unfazed by Hillary Clinton. January 30th, 2015. Former GOP nominee Romney will not run for president in 2016. Why Mitt Romney thinks he can win and Jeb Bush can't. President Obama says Mitt Romney cares about poverty. That's great. Let's do something about it. Obama mocks Mitt Romney for being suddenly deeply concerned about poverty. Fox News poll says Romney remains top of GOP field. Clinton leads Democrats. Netanyahu is talking to leading Democrats to little effect so far. Israeli ambassador says Netanyahu never meant to disrespect Obama. Commissioner Bratton unveils plans for new high-tech anti-terror police unit. A grim warning cry on soaring U.S. debt. In strategic shift, U.S. draws closer to Yemeni rebels. January 31st, 2015. A strained alliance. Obama and Netanyahu rift grew over years. Kill our pilot and we'll execute all your prisoners. Jordan says it will hang its ISIS captives if airman hostage is dead. New Iowa poll says Romney would have faced many campaign hurdles. The Republican Congress meets reality. Mary Cheney says why is drag socially acceptable and blackface isn't. George R.R. Martin's The Winds of Winter, no plans for publication in 2015.